First and foremost, I want to say Ramadan Kareem, and I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me on my last videos and on the TikTok, of course. Obviously, we've all heard the news that TikTok might get deleted soon. I know it's a shame, but I think it will be for the better in the long run, inshallah. With that being said, I do think TikTok and social media as a whole is a very powerful tool if put into the right hands. And I do believe that there's really no reason why you shouldn't be on social media if you feel like you can have an impact on the world. We've all been there, especially as kids, where we feel like we want to be like a YouTuber, whether you used to watch gaming or you used to watch just vloggings. We all wish we could do that kind of stuff, right? And I do believe that for the most part, it's possible for anyone to achieve this goal. I believe that if you're doing social media with the intent of for clout or fame, you'll never succeed ever, because it's going to incline you to take shortcuts. It's going to make you want to cheat the system or find a method that's going to make it work for you. When in reality, all that stuff is BS. If you really want to build like a following on any type of social media, the first thing you need to do is build an audience. And how do you do that? By being your authentic self. If you're lying or if you're putting on like a front, the truth will always come out no matter what. No matter how persistent you are, no matter how much you try to hide the truth will come out no matter what you do. And you'd be surprised how easily people can smell that you're lying or you're not being your true self. So the first thing, you definitely need to figure out who you are first. What does it mean to be your true self? What are the things that you will never talk about? What are the things that you want to talk about? Me, for example, since I'm a Muslim, it's like a super big part of my life. There's just certain things that I just will never do. And I live by these tenets no matter what. I would suggest taking a few minutes of your day and just write down 3 things that mean the most to you. So I'm gonna go do this exercise too, so we can do it together. So now that you've wrote down your 3 things, right, we're gonna go over them together. Now, if you weren't able to write down those 3 things, those 3 tenets, if you didn't take the time to just step away for a minute and just write them down, my biggest suggestion for you would be to quit right now. It's over. Wrap it up. If you couldn't even sit down for 5 minutes and write down those 3 tenets, just stuff that you're gonna base your content on, you have no chance in succeeding in any type of social media. The reason for that being is it's a grind. Let's be real, guys. It's not just gonna be your first video is gonna pop and you're gonna be glitty and everything's gonna be great. It's not how this works, guys. It's a process, it's a struggle, it's a grind. If you couldn't spend, a minute of your time to write down 3 things that's gonna help you become a social media content creator or an influencer, you're cooked, bro. You're cooked. There's no chance for you. There's no chance. You don't even have the patience to do that. There's no chance. You're not going to be able to sit through 100, 200 view videos for a month to 6 months to a year. You're not going to be able to do it. The first one for me is definitely going to be authenticity. Authenticity is obviously just telling the truth, being my true self, not lying, not trying to put on a front, just making sure I don't have any skeletons in my closets. Second one for me would be relatability. I like to feel like a human. When I look at influencers or people who have a story to tell, I don't like when I feel like they're not giving a real perspective or I can't relate to them. It doesn't make me want to watch them, especially if there's someone my age. So if it's someone who's Prince in Dubai or something, who's a trillionaire, I have a hard time relating to someone like that, you know what I mean? And then the last one for me is boundaries. So a lot of people are super open when it comes to social media. Now, because one of my tenets is relatability and another one is authenticity, you're gonna need to set boundaries when it comes to these things, or you're gonna find yourself oversharing. In Islam, we're not supposed to talk about our sins. So I have the tenet of, I will never speak about a sin unless I can see that it could help another person, or me exposing that sin can allow someone to understand themselves better, or guide them back to Islam, or guide them to, become a better Muslim. And even then, there's still a limit to how much I'll really talk about. So every TikTok I make, those 3 things go into it. Those 3 things are kept in mind whenever I'm starting a social media thing. And it needs to be consistent throughout every single video you do, whether it be Instagram, whether it be YouTube, whether it be TikTok. Doesn't matter where you're going. As long as you have to set at least three things that you're always going to keep up with, no matter what. You can even copy me. I don't really care. Like, if majority of the people that watch me are Muslim, so you guys can copy me. I don't mind. You need to understand the odds you're up against when you're trying to become an influencer or a content creator. You need to understand that, you know, it's hard to separate yourself from the pack, and your first videos are going to be terrible and they're going to suck. You kind of just need to try things. I would honestly just try whatever you're passionate about. For me, I started off making like fitness content. Like, I did 75 hard and I would document my journey. None of my videos ever got views. I think the most viewed thing I ever got during that whole challenge was like 1,000. And it wasn't even related to my 75 hard. It was literally just like a TikTok slideshow. That's probably still up on my TikTok if you want to check it out. The point being is that your videos are gonna suck. No one's gonna watch them in the beginning, unless you're one of the lucky 0.1%. But trial and error. That's how you become successful. Trial and error. You figure out what works. You figure out what you want to do, what type of content creator you want to be, what type of person you want to present to the world. And I would honestly post as often as possible. Whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, it doesn't really matter. Post as often as you possibly can. It's going to be a side hustle. You are not going to see any profit from this for a long time. If you're going into it with your first thing being money, you're going to fail. Your first thought cannot be money. It would be nice, you know, of course, to have money on the side, but when you're trying to become a content creator or influencer, the first thing you can't think of it as a money grab. Because again, we talked about earlier, authenticity, being real with people. People could smell that. People could smell bull crap. Now, the timetable you gotta wait for a video to blow up and to see if this is for you, I would honestly give it a year. Give it a year. Give it an honest year where you're posting as consistent as possible. You're trying to learn. You're trying to perfect your craft. And I would give it a year. And then if it doesn't go well for you, I mean, you could quit. It's up to you. You can keep going. But I would say that after a year is when you'd have a good feel for like if this is for you or if it's not for you. Now, let's just say you've been posting content for a while. You know, you're getting in the groove. You go to sleep one night and wake up to 99 plus notifications. Boom, congrats. One of your videos blew up. You're getting a bunch of comments, likes, favorites, all the above. It's great. It's nice for 2-3 days. One video blowing up is a great place to build some momentum, but you need to capitalize on it because that momentum dies out fast. Look at why that video blew up. What did you do right in that video? Analyze it. Was your first 5 seconds good? Was it the topic that was super relevant? Was it how enthusiastic you were? Was it your humor? Was it it could be anything, honestly. It could be all these things. It's all these things you need to account for. Anyone that tells you social media isn't a craft is lying. I think social media is a skill. It's not one of those things you can cheat. It's like an art form in a way. That question I already know I'm gonna get is pertaining to buying like ads for your content or like buying TikTok promotion or buying Instagram promotion. I would stay away from this. I've heard it flags your account. I don't know how true that is, but you don't need to spend money on Instagram or TikTok to promote your stuff when it'll do that anyway for free if you are just patient with it. Save your money, guys. You're not making any money from this already, so why are you gonna spend money on it? Save your money as much as possible. After analyzing what worked in your video that made it blow up, implement that into your next videos. You know, it might not be something that you want to talk about, but to say in my case, I was doing fitness at the time and I made one random Islamic TikTok and it blew up, right? At the time, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. I was like, can I even do this? I'm not even like the best Muslim in the world. A lot of questions were raised for me. But then I decided, you know what? I think I have a skill for it, a knack for it. People like what I have to say. So I'm just going to go all on it. And then if I'll post another video and if it blows up, then okay, this is going to be my thing from now on. Made another video the very next week. Boom, video blew up. And TikTok's going to promote your videos from now on. Once you start getting like 10K, 5K views on a video, like if you get it like twice, 3 times in a row, you know the algorithm's on your side. Because at the end of the day, social media platforms are gonna promote what gets the most views, what people want to see. However much of a niche it is, the better. And however unique you are in that niche, the better it's gonna be. So for example, the niche I'm in is the Islamic and motivational speaking niche. There's not many people that do it the way I do it. I do it in a different way. I'm not going to talk about it, but I do it in a certain way that not many people are doing. And that's kind of why people watch me. I'm by no means the biggest content creator in the world, but I found a method that works for me. And I like where I'm at, so what more can you want, you know? You need to find that method that works for you. I'm a firm believer in if you work as hard as you possibly can, if you don't cheat anyone, if you're honest from the get, if you don't try to cut corners and you actually put effort into what you're doing, it's not about if you'll succeed, it's about when. Jazakallah khair for watching, guys. I hope this helped. Hope to see you guys out there on TikTok, and maybe one day we can collab. Ramadan Kareem, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.